Tonight, we're gathered on this land to celebrate the University of Calgary's commitment to the health and wellness of one of the greatest gifts that life has to offer, children. So let us envision a future where all children are thriving.
What do you want all the adults in this room to know? What you need to feel healthy and happy. Yes, my friend?
The thing that makes you most happy and healthy is my pets and my outside. Eating my fruits and vegetables.
By connecting with nature.
Elder Reg, what do you need to be happy and healthy?
Whoa, stories.
Stories! Hey. Rex, do you have anything you want to share? Sports and water from Rex.
We're here tonight to talk about how we can all help kids thrive. Francois, I'd like to start it off with you if I could. What can you tell me about how kids in Canada are doing right now when it comes to health and wellness indicators?
So the story of children in Canada is a bit mixed. You know, we ranked 30th out of 38, but that's not the whole story. About 12 years ago, we ranked 12th in UNICEF ranking. So we've gone on this trajectory of 12th to 30th. If you look at youth suicidality or youth suicide, we're ranking just right at the bottom of those 38 high-income countries. We haven't invested enough in the transformational research that can provide policy and evidence, and that's where I think the aspiration and hopes of One Child, Every Child came to bear, which is, can the hopes and aspirations that we have for a child, think of that child who was just born, be available to all children, but also all families and all communities.
Joanne, could you explain to the group here how the University of Calgary is uniquely positioned to make a difference in the lives of children?
The strength of this research community has really been incredible, particularly in maternal and child health, and has been fueled through the leadership of the Alberta Children's Hospital Research Institute. In 2020, the University of Calgary named child health and wellness as an institutional priority, and that's a first for any university in Canada. It's enabled this team of researchers to advance care and treatment in brain and mental health, in cancer, in rare diseases, in medically complex conditions. And this is happening not only at the Alberta Children's Hospital and Rotary Flames House, but it's also fueled child wellness and enhancing that focus in family physicians' offices and community-based child-facing organizations. And so that's not only in Calgary, that's in the province, that's nationally, internationally, we've had a lot of impact. So yeah, we're very well positioned to keep focusing on improving the wellness and health of children and families.
Thanks to our strong record, as mentioned earlier, last year the University of Calgary was awarded $125 million from the Government of Canada over 7 years to launch One Child, Every Child. Could you tell everybody here, what do we hope to achieve together?
I think there are three defining characteristics that are important to understand. The first and most important is that One Child, Every Child has a parallel path structure. And that means that there is an Indigenous path and a non-Indigenous or settler, or as Michael Hart, if he was here, would say, the Mista-Kosewak path. And the reason that this is so important is that, as many of you know, the health issues that affect Indigenous children are not the same as those that affect all children. In fact, in many ways, they are much worse. There's a history of colonialization. There's also within science a history of people like myself going into Indigenous communities, not understanding the cultural context and doing harm, even if they're well-intentioned. And so the parallel path structure is designed to not do that. The Indigenous path is led by Indigenous scholars and is collaborated with Indigenous communities. So that's probably the most important characteristic. The second is that we have an innovative research design, a strategy that is designed to, first of all, understand the problem. The way in which we're doing that is that we are figuring out the causes of poor child health outcomes in Canada that are prevalent and severe, the things that affect the most kids and the things that have the poorest outcomes. So addressing things that are common and severe is going to be most likely to bend the curve and improve outcomes for children in Canada. The third is addressing the gaps in knowledge. There are many things that we know, and so we need to figure out the things where we don't know something about things that are prevalent and severe and address those to harness research to make outcomes better for Canada.
We have the people and the partnerships. We have the talent and the track record for innovation to make really, really significant gains in child health and wellness. But I think the audience wants to know, what are we doing right now?
One of our priorities is better beginnings. How do you start life well? How do you look at prematurity in small babies? If we could address that problem alone, we've had a transformational impact. 20% of children have a chronic illness. 1% are medically complex. Those children, if we don't bend that curve on those kids, result in adults who have chronic illness. Theme 3 is neurodiversity and mental health, ADHD, autism, mental health challenges amplified through pandemic are really, really becoming a major challenge for our families and communities. So how do you do that? You look at all the solutions that you have. You mobilize your team, you mobilize the capacity on the biomedical side, the social side, integrate that knowledge, and then you test interventions.
So joining us for our further conversation, I'm pleased to introduce Kate Wong. And Kate's a registered pediatric nurse who is also completing her doctoral degree in nursing at the University of Calgary. Mike Began, a board vice chair for the Alberta Children's Hospital Foundation. And Jaren Edwards, proud mother of 2 sons, Jackson, 7, and Joseph, 4. Kate, let me begin with you. How does One Child, Every Child help you to help kids?
Well, I think the short answer is the more we know, the more we can do for kids and families. And so I think it's really important that this research that's happening ends up in the hands of healthcare providers and people like me. I think it's going to be great for the kids that I care for because they all have rare diseases and they all have complex medical history and they're all medically fragile. So I think this is going to make a big difference in their lives.
And Mike, I really want to thank you for your ongoing support. And from your perspective, how are the partnerships making research innovations possible?
I think there's so many important partnerships that the foundation has. It's certainly the UCalgary is a huge one with the Alberta Children's Hospital, with various organizations throughout the community, with families. And a big one now is One Child, Every Child. Over the last 15 years, I'm not sure how many people realize this, but the community, along with the foundation, has supported about $500 million in child health. About half of that's been in clinical initiatives within the hospital, and about half of that is in support of research. And the type of benefits we've been able to make have really been life-changing in many instances. And we've really invested a lot in, you could almost call it 3 big areas: in people, in places, and in research excellence and innovation.
This is all about helping kids thrive. And Jaren, as a parent of 2 boys, Jackson and Joseph, who are here with us today, how does hearing about One Child, Every Child make you feel?
So I feel a huge sense of comfort and reassurance that we have such an incredible hospital in the city that we live in, and it's so close to home. Just impressive to know that there's so many people in our community and across Canada making such an incredible collective investment in not only my children, but all of our children.
I understand that you actually call the Alberta Children's Hospital your family's lifeline.
Yes.
Which is very, very important. Would you share a little bit more about your experiences, in particular describing your son's conditions?
So Jackson and Joseph, they have a rare gene. It's called B3GAL-NT2. We found the gene through the whole exome sequencing, which I now know is funded through donors. They have balance and coordination issues, so they're unable to walk. They both use manual wheelchairs, but they're also, as you can see, very happy little boys.
What can you tell us about being involved in the project called Trexo?
We love Trexo. Trexo, we call it their robot legs. So whenever we'd go, we're going to do robot legs today. So Jackson did his study in the summer. Not only did it help his mental health, it helped his confidence and everything. He was so proud to go around the hospital and show everyone tell him how cool he looks. And after his 8-week study, his physical therapist at school messaged me and told me that he is now walking up the stairs, holding someone's hand and holding the railing, which he was not doing before.
Wow.
It has made a big difference. And as parents, it was really cool to walk next to our children and hold their hand. That was a big deal for us. So Joey, he did his study in September. He went from, this is a child that has never slept through the night or didn't really eat solid foods. He went from not doing any of that to sleeping through the night. His calories, he moved all to daytime. He was taking more intentional steps. And now Joey crawls. He increased his strength so much that he actually did this milestone. Jackson did the milestone at 6 years old. Joey did it at 4. So the Trexo has really helped with their muscle strength and just overall their happiness and yeah, they love it. And we love it.
So One Child, Every Child is about helping children like Jackson and Joseph. And Jaren, thank you so much for sharing their story with us. It's about helping researchers and scholars like Kate and Francois and Benedict, and helping all of us as a community make a difference in the lives of children. University of Calgary health research is saving lives. It's changing lives. But as we heard tonight, we could not do this alone. 10 years ago, Jeff Cumming made the historic $100 million gift, putting the University of Calgary on the map for health research. And we cannot thank him enough for his vision to transform medical education, research, and innovation. And a profound thank you to the Alberta Children's Hospital Foundation, who have partnered with us for more than 40 years. And together, we're ensuring kids have what they need to grow up healthy and happy. Annie Charbonneau, Bud McCaig, Alvin and Mona Libben, David and Gail O'Brien, Joan Snyder, Harley Hotchkiss, each saw the potential of partnering with us to save lives. And over the last decade, nearly 12,000 donors have given us $852 million, enabling us, in partnership, to attract more than $1.5 billion in medical research funding. And that's the power with the community partnering with the University of Calgary to leverage those resources to have a big impact. And One Child, Every Child is our next catalyst for change. By bringing together medical teams, social workers and educators, Indigenous elders, community leaders and scholars, we are improving child health and wellness through research.